So imagine you're an alien. You've been sent to Earth to check out the leadership here, and all you have to go on is clips that came out yesterday. The first clip you see is of this man explaining the last millennium of his country's history. The next clip you see is of this man speaking to a huge crowd about the recent successes of his country. Then you see this clip of a man asked when his son died.
How in the hell dare he raise that? Frankly, when I was asked the question, I thought to myself, it wasn't any of their damn business. Let me tell you something. Some of you have commented, I wear since the day he died, every single day, the rosary he got from Our Lady of... Every Memorial Day.
If you had no other information, even if you didn't know whether the things they were saying were true, where are you sending your alien troops? That's what I thought. Yesterday, Tucker Carlson interviewed Russian President Vladimir Putin. To start, Tucker asked a yes or no question, and Putin gave him a full Ken Burns documentary.
I beg your pardon, can you tell us what period? I'm losing track of where in history we are.
It was in the 13th century.
Like me when someone asks a question about early Simpsons. The same day, a speech from Nayib Bukele, the president of El Salvador, circulated on social media.
Literalmente, pasamos de ser el país más inseguro del mundo a ser el país más seguro de todo el hemisferio occidental.
Which sounds great, but if he's not careful, he's going to lose the MS-13 vote. And within that same 24-hour period, Joe Biden's classified documents case was dismissed on the grounds that he's too senile to stand trial. Yes, they've figured out how to turn his dementia into an asset. They can't swap him out now. He's like a Swiss Army knife, and they're still finding new ways to use him. Investigators said he presented himself as
sympathetic, well-meaning, elderly man with a poor memory.
Also, he couldn't remember when he was vice president. He didn't remember within several years when his son Beau died. In his press conference addressing it, he referred to Egypt's president Sisi as the president of Mexico. The only button this guy should have access to is one you wear around your neck. And still, the media carries his water. The same media that made fun of Trump because he drank water weird. Seth Meyers still plays this clip of Trump every third show.
The guy doesn't even know how to close an umbrella. And then when he can't close it, he just leaves it there.
He put down an umbrella. Comedic gold. Of course, none of this is a revelation about Biden, but the contrast couldn't be more clear. We don't come off as a respectable country, and it's because we're ruled by people who don't love our country. They don't even seem to like it. All this happened the same day that the Senate advanced a $95 billion foreign aid package. The same day, I assume, another 5,000 people crossed our border with Mexico. And the same week, the Virginia Senate voted to lay the groundwork to bankrupt every Confederate museum in the state. Just today, I saw a Somali guy walking around in Jeb Stuart's uniform.
I'm the captain now.
So we're giving away our money, our people, and our history. America is going out of business and everything must go. Contrast this with Bukele, a man who obviously loves his country. When Bukele took office, El Salvador's murder rate was one of the highest in the world. At one point, they were averaging 1 murder per hour, which resulted in the tourism slogan, El Salvador, come for the pupusas, stay because you got murdered. Then in 2022, Bukele issued a state of emergency, and the country's murder rate went down by 56.8% that year, along with machete stocks. Bukele just rounded up all the gang members and locked them in an inescapable mega prison. We showed a clip of it on the show, but we had to change the music to avoid a copyright strike. The left called these images shocking. They called it a violation of human rights and said it's all just tech bro fascism. For context, these are people who, in order to join their gang, are required to hack someone to death with a machete. It's not like they locked up the Eagle Scouts. People are exasperated that right-wingers might be attracted to this kind of strongman leader. But when you've been ruled your whole life by bureaucrats who hate you, it's refreshing to see a competent man who wants to make his country better. When a guy comes along who even talks that way, our elites do the best they can to destroy him. They impeach him, they indict him, they even try to remove him from the ballot. You can call Bukele an authoritarian, but what would you call what we're living under? Not every kind of right-wing reaction is a healthy one, of course, but we have to understand why people would want this kind of thing. Trump has been saying it for years. The world is laughing at us, and they've got plenty of material. But it doesn't have to be that way. Bukele is a big white bill to the right. He shows that decline and destruction are optional, that it can be stopped and even turned around. It just takes some people who know how to use political power. The American right is desperate for good heroes to emulate, so much so that we sometimes lionize people who aren't heroes. But the left doesn't want heroes. They're the ones who take down the statues of anyone more impressive than them. They don't want to be intimidated by good leaders. Ergo, this guy.